Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. Today I'm going to be doing a reading on the full moon in Leo happening February 16th, 2022. What's interesting about this read is if you can notice that every single card we got from the soul's lesson is purple, right? And purple is significant for the crown chakra. Purple is significant of, reconnecting with a higher consciousness, reconnecting with the divine. So it's actually this energy is crazy to me. And look at what we're ending with, new vision. So honestly, I strongly feel, if you guys feel like you've already gone through this process, I feel like you're still here, right? I see a connection here with participation, right? It's like you might have already had this sort of awakening to a higher consciousness, but now others are joining you, right? And if you have had this awakening already, maybe it's again happening on a larger scale for you. Maybe you're going to be awakening to new gifts or new ideas and this creative energy, right? That everybody is going to be on a different level. But I feel like there is a new wave of people that are coming on this journey. And I like that it's the full moon in Leo is, we start off with conditioning with the line, right? Like the actual card has a line in it. And it's interesting because it's like, that's exactly the energy here. We're not sheep, you know what I mean? We don't want to be like a part of this flock. We want to be, the story of this card is that there's a lion that was raised with sheep. So he thinks he's a sheep. But at the end of the day, a lion shows him his reflection and shows him no, you're a lion. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not a sheep. You're not supposed to belong to the flock. And the lion's just super confused. So that's what I feel like is going on for somebody here. Somebody here is kind of waking up to the fact that they're not like everyone else, right? And none of us are. We're all very unique and we're all very individual. But with society, there comes this idea that it's easier, again, to go with the crowd than to oppose it. And that's exactly what I feel like this person is struggling with or has been struggling with for a very long time. So I feel like all of you guys know someone like that you want, to kind of understand things the way you do, but you don't necessarily know if they'll make it to that side. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know if they'll get there because it is something that I feel like is very alone and individual, and it takes its time. And I don't think you can ever rush a person, you know what I mean, into understanding this, right? Into understanding conditioning. This is something that either you feel or you just don't feel. You feel like you're a part of the mass and you're comfortable with that, or you feel like there's something wrong with the mass and you go away from it, right? And everyone's unique and individual and will learn this in their own time, or will maybe never learn this. But whoever I'm speaking to, there is someone who's understanding this. And it's interesting because I feel like we have you having to be patient, you having to be mature and understand that it's like the whole is more important than the individual at times. And then sometimes I feel like it's important to just do the individual journey and not necessarily worry about the whole. But it's like, which whole are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Are we talking about the whole that understands this conditioning, or are we talking about the whole that is like the sheep? Do you know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel here, whichever side you belong to, I think the person who's waking up right now or realizing they're not a sheep, I'm getting two things. I'm getting that there's this desire for them to want to be mature. And what does maturity mean? It kind of, I feel like, means being the sheep, right? It's very immature to go do your own thing. You have responsibilities. You have people that you have to feed. You have people that you have to worry about. So doing your own thing seems very selfish. And I feel like this person, again, I feel like there's a lot of programming that this person has to undo, because it's not only programming, it's the fact that they have a lot of things that they have to worry about. And I feel they have a lot of people that depend on them or, need them. And they're just very afraid to take this path alone, because I don't know why. For some people, I feel like it's not just for themselves. They have a lot of stake here when it comes to family and friends. And again, I feel some sort of dependence here on people that depend on this person to do exactly what they're told to do. So I've been getting this for a while. And for some of the reads, this person who's just very stressed because there's a lot of people that depend on them. And depend on them to do the right thing, but the right thing is like to stay as a sheep. Do you get what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like this person, they want you to be mature though. They want you to be patient with this person. I don't know why. I feel like again, we're all part of this journey, but at the same time, we're all at different levels. And again, it doesn't necessarily matter which level you're in, right? With the participation, like we're all basically a part of this whole. Like you want other people to come and realize like, oh, you're a lion, you're not a sheep. Join me, right? Right? Like that's what we all want. But at the end of the day, like everyone has to do it on their own. And I like that the patience card came out here because you can see how it has to do with the cycles of the moon, right? So again, I think this Leo full moon is going to be really significant for someone. There for many people. And I think Valentine's Day is actually something that kind of might have even pushed this person to realize that they are not the sheep, right? Because what more than like Valentine's Day when we're talking about love, right? And higher levels of love, higher levels of commitment, right? And realizing that maybe, you know, are they on the journey that they want to be on? Are they on the right path? Are they with the partner that they love? Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like for some reason, Saint Valentine, I don't know why I say Saint Valentine. Valentine's Day is really significant in this process for some reason. That's what I'm getting with this. I don't know why I feel like that, but I just do. I'm going to pull more cards later to see, but I definitely think that Valentine's Day had something to do with this, or is helping this person to get to like the level where they're understanding that like maybe there is no love where I am. Do you know what I'm saying? Because again, if let's just say that I'm not a sheep and I want to be a lion, people should love me for wanting to be whatever I feel like being, but that's not the energy of these people. So what does love really mean, right? And again, it's this conditioning. It's like people being taught what love is not really what love is, because love is acceptance and love is love is the absence of judgment, right? So I definitely feel for this person. Again, I feel like this might not be you if you're on this channel, because I feel like this is a newer person. Again, we're all a part of this awakening, so it's to a different degree for everyone. Like for the people who I feel like have already been on this journey for a while, I think that we're starting to have these new visions of what we could create for our lives, right? Like this person is finally they're down here, right? Like they're just starting to, you know, get this information. And then I feel like most of us are already like up here, right? Where we're like standing in our power and being alone, right? And like not being afraid to be a part of the no thingness, right? Because this is like getting away from the sheep and starting our own like thing, right, on this side. And I read this quote from Bob Marley and it was really interesting. It was like, wouldn't society be just so amazing if everybody just like, there was no money, and money didn't really signify anything in your life, and it was just like you living off the land and like being kind to others. Like, could you imagine like how society could be if it was different, if things were different, right? And I feel like that's like us. Like we're all trying to get to this level of participation where everybody kind of is on that same boat. Like we're getting away from this mass and going here, right? And I think it's a little scary for some people because again, no one knows what it really looks like. Everyone has their own idea of what it could look like, but no one really knows what this new society or this new integration will look like, right? But everyone can feel it, and that's why I'm getting like whoever this is, they could have Leo in their chart, because again, we start off with the line. Again, it is just the new moon, the full moon in Leo. Maybe they actually have Leo in their chart, but I think it's going to be a really big thing for this person. And for some reason, yeah, they're learning that like their whole lives they've been worried about acceptance. You know what I mean? Worried to be accepted, worried like what is the best thing for me to do so that I can look like everyone else. So I feel like this person actually tried to be a sheep for such a long time. But the interesting thing is like they're actually not sheep at all. So they just went against their whole nature. That's what I'm saying. Like they went against their own nature. They went against what they felt, because again, it was just this conditioning and the way that like people wanted them to be. But do you see how the energy is like very dark here? And then it gets a little bit lighter. Even though we're dealing with crown chakra energy, higher consciousness, connection to the divine, I think the energy is going to get lighter and lighter for this person as they step away from the sheep. Like as soon as you step away from the sheep, you can see like with maturity and patience that the rainbow energy like comes out. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like the first step for this person is just to realize that they're not a sheep, and then that will like bring them into this whole new dynamic in their life. But I'm actually so excited for this person, because again, I feel like we all know people like this, that it's just like, you know, you want them to see what you see, but you can't force them. You know what I mean? You can't force anybody to understand what you understand and to see what you see. And you just hope that people can one day be on the same like journey that you're on, or understand the journey you're on and respect it. And I feel like this person, whoever this is going to be starting that journey and learning about it and respecting your journey and like understanding it. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. That's exactly what I mean. Like, I think that this is a promise that whoever this person is, whether this be you or someone else, it's the promise of, you know, someone collaborating with you and understanding your journey. Again, I get this romantic vibe, even though this has nothing to do with romance, right? Because we're on this higher level of consciousness. We don't really have anything, but we don't have love cards out here, but I feel like this underlying theme of love, right? Because again, I get Valentine's Day was a big deal for this person, whoever this is. And, you know, what is actual love? You know, it's the absence of judgment. I feel like whatever this person was taught about love, they're realizing that it's like, how can it be real love if I can't be myself? You know what I mean? Like, how can someone say they love me but not necessarily want what I want for myself, right? Which is really sad. So I get this underlying theme of love here, where this person, I think, again, it has to do with love. It has to do with like what is actual love and who's going to respect me for being who I am and just being me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm getting like super like caught up here, because I just feel that this person is, it's like someone, again, oh my God, I was literally gonna say, it's like someone's tying this person down, and that's exactly what I feel like. Do you see how the line is actually like tied? I don't know if you can see it, but that's exactly how I feel like this person feels. They're tied down. They can't like even breathe. Like, I just feel like this person is so, they're so worried, but now they're getting out of that, and they're realizing that it has nothing to do with worrying. It has nothing to do with acceptance. It actually has everything to do with like, exactly empathy and imagination, the new vision. Like, what do I want for my life? What can I be? Who can I be? What people can actually want for me? You know what I mean? In this community, right? What could people actually desire for my life, or, you know, watch me do and say like, wow, you're doing such a great job. Just having someone to just be there, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in agreement, but someone who, again, can empathize with me and just understand me. And then again, it's like all about the imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. So yeah, I feel like this new energy is very creative. I think it's like a fire burning in this person, because they've been tied down for such a long time that they're just done with it. You know what I mean? And I'm so excited for this person. Like, I don't even know. The thing is, like, even if you're not this person, like, you've recognized that you weren't a sheep a long time ago, this person I feel like is close to you, or this is someone that you might have had to like leave behind, or someone that you couldn't, you know, when you can't explain something to someone because it's just something that you just have to either like be following or not, right? And we all know those people that they don't really understand the journey that we're on, because they don't really understand consciousness. They don't really understand, like, again, the crown chakra, divinity. And the crown chakra has a lot to do with like that connection to the divine, right? So this is actually even more beautiful than I thought, because it is about embracing that connection to the divine and understanding. Again, I see these videos on YouTube, and it's actually so irritating, because they're like, I am like renouncing this new age magic, and I'm just following in the Lord because the Lord is my savior. And like, do you get what I'm saying? And it's like, if you understand what this is, then you understand that this has nothing to do, like, everything is connected. This does have to do with the universe and the creator and whoever it is that, you know, you want to say, but it is actually everything to do with that. It's nothing is actually separate from that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the higher level of consciousness has everything to do with the divine and being one with the divine, and understanding that you can create and manifest anything that you want because you are connected to the divine. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we are all created in the image of the divine. Do you know what I'm saying? So then how can we not manifest for ourselves? How can we not create for ourselves? And those videos really, really irritate me. They're like, you know, that new age magic where we're not going to, I'm just going to keep going to church again because I don't believe in this bullshit. Like, there's so many videos of people like renouncing this, and I don't know, they have so many names for this shit, and like, oh, tarot is like the most evil thing ever, and I don't know why I'm going on a rant here, but it actually just infuriates me because it's actually so connected. Everything is very connected, but people who don't understand this they're just gonna say like it's all separate, right? And that's exactly what I mean about the separation, right? The separation, right? There's like a separation going on, and there's like someone that that's on that side, but you want them to be on this side with you. And again, it's not about choosing sides. I don't want to make it like a divide or this division, but there's just people that are going to understand what you're doing, or people who are not. People are going to say like tarot is like the most evil thing ever, and it's like devil worship or devil some shit, and make you feel like shit for it when it has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, consciousness and like energy and all this shit, and I need to get away from that and go back and like pray to my Lord. Like, again, if nothing is actually separate, but people, again, who don't understand this, and that's what I'm saying, I feel like I don't know why I'm going into this rant, but people who really like truly believe that that this is like bad, or like, do you know what I'm saying, like speaking about I think I should just stop now, but like people who actually believe these things, it's like you want those people to make it too. Like, again, like it's not a group that like is inclusive or not inclusive. Like, you want everyone to get here, but you see where people are just so closed-minded, they're not going to get there. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not going to make it because it's like, I don't know, some little thing comes out on the road and they can't go through it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a pebble is on the road, but instead of just like, I mean, you can obviously like step on the pebble and go clearly through to the road. Like, the pebble doesn't like have anything to do with, it's not a barrier, it's not going to stop you from getting where you need to go, right? But people put like this little rock in the road, and then people are like, oh my god, no, I can't, like I don't know why I'm ranting about this, but yeah, I just been seeing so many videos of people who are like denouncing and talking about how this is new age shit, and like how this has nothing to do with like, anyway, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, anyway, there's people, again, that will always have that frame of mind, and I think that's like the sheep, you know what I mean? Those are the people that are, again, those are the people you want to kind of get away from, because not because you don't love them and not because you don't accept them for who they are, and again, everyone has their own journey, but you have to get away from that because it's going to drive you freaking crazy. And that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm like being driven crazy by this rant that I'm going on, but at the end of the day, it's like, you want those people to make it too, right? Like, the more people who can understand this level of consciousness and just like start creating from within and stop going on like what society wants you to do, like, that's the basis of this, right? That's like the simple basis, underlining theme of this, right? Obviously, it gets much more complex as you go down, but if you can just understand that you don't belong to this group and that you could be doing something more for yourself and for helping others and for like thinking of a new way that things could be, right? If that's just like where you are at right now, then you're already ahead and you're already getting there. Do you know what I'm saying? But most people stop themselves because, again, most people live in fear. And we're not going to talk about those people, but because I already went on a rant with those people, like literally getting like millions of views on videos on YouTube to talk about how, exactly, like I can't even go there, but yeah, it's just interesting because I never get triggered in a reading, and I'm getting a little triggered, so yeah. But I definitely think that we're headed towards this new energy where everyone's going to be creating for themselves what they think is best for themselves, and it's actually going to just raise the consciousness and raise the vibration of the earth, which is what we all want to do, right? Again, it's always for the whole, but everyone will always divide and say it's separate. And again, there is some sort of division in a way. There is. I'm like I don't want there to be, but there is. And there shouldn't be, but there is. And maybe there will always be that division. Maybe there will always be sheep. Like, maybe my most, if things could just be the way I would want them to be, is like there would be no sheep and everyone would be aligned and everybody would be doing their own shit. But I guess there always has to be a sheep because you have to learn to like differentiate yourself from the sheep. You know what I mean? It's like you have to learn to like get yourself out of something to start the journey. So I feel like there has to always be sheep. So actually, maybe we should just be happy for the people who are sheep, because that helps us differentiate us from the flock, right? Like, we're like, wait, we're not a sheep, we're a lion. Do you know what I'm saying? So I guess maybe there will always be sheep. Maybe it's good for those people that came and like triggered me just now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's good for those people, because it just shows that like you have to have sheep maybe to differentiate yourself from a lion. Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe those people that I'm like triggered by are actually very important to this whole thing. Again, everything is like created in the most perfect way. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, again, maybe the sheep are actually very important to the story. Maybe the sheep are the most important thing at the end of the day. Like, not maybe the most important, but maybe they're like, again, we all come from this conditioning. Like, we're all starting here as a sheep maybe, or thinking we're a sheep. So again, maybe that is very important, because that's exactly what we don't want to be. And that's what we learn like as we go along. I'm gonna pull some more cards on this. Sorry for the rant, but yeah, I just get so irritated sometimes. Yeah, so you remember when I was saying I feel like there's some sort of romance tied to this energy, or some sort of like, it's like you know someone but you have to let them go, because at the end of the day they have to figure this out for themselves, right? That's what I'm getting with this, especially with the Two of Cups and the Devil in reverse. Do you see how there's like a pair here and a pair here, right? Like this, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like maybe someone you know, it's just someone you know, or it's a family member, or it could honestly be someone that you actually like know on a deeper level, like you had some sort of romantic connection with, but you feel like you have to kind of just take yourself away from them because it's something they had to figure out by themselves. And this card came out sideways, right? So I could take it either way, but I think it would be upright in this scenario, because again, this is all about understanding that what you are and who you are. And again, it's something that maybe you did in the past where you had to leave someone behind, or you had to leave everyone behind and just do your own thing, right? Because at the end of the day, if you keep doing what everyone else is doing, you're just going to keep permeating a cycle that you yourself feel you need to get out of, right? So that's exactly what I feel like is going on here. And I was like, yo, we're going to get the King of Wands. We're going to get the King of Wands. Again, this could be everybody, but I honestly, again, it's the energy of this, it's the energy of the full moon in Leo. And I keep wanting to say new, because I feel like, again, it's like progress. Right? I don't know why I keep thinking new. But it's new for some people. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a new way of thinking for some people. And again, maybe you yourself had to unburden yourself from these people and get away. And there's like others that you had to leave behind. You're like, I wish I could take everyone with me, but again, I can't. Right? Everyone has to figure this shit out on their own. And that's kind of how it goes. Like, you can explain this to somebody 100 times, but unless they're really willing to like accept it themselves and see it themselves, like it's not about accepting, it's about seeing it, right? And that's why I like that we have the sword here, because it's like someone has to see it. Now, the interesting thing is that I think this is like reminding me of the Valentine's Day energy for some reason. Like, again, I think like Valentine's Day was an eye-opening thing for a lot of people, because it's like, am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I with who I'm supposed to be? And I feel like some people are realizing they're not. And that's a betrayal to themselves, right? And that's the end of that cycle with a 10. Like, not the ending, but again, a new beginning. Because again, if you realize that, on Valentine's Day, you were with someone who, so it reminded me of Coyote Ugly. I don't know if you've seen that movie where she's like, have you ever woken up and like looked at someone across the bed from you and like wanted to like, I think she said you like wanted to like eat your own arm off, then like wake up and notice like who was on the other side of the bed with you. Like, that's literally what I'm getting with this. Like, realizing you might be in a relationship with someone that you would rather, call your allies out than see them actually. Because again, you're like seeing them for who they really are, and you're just like, why the hell am I with this person? That's what I'm saying. I feel like Valentine's Day, for some reason, I'm getting some crazy shit about Valentine's Day, and I think it's true because we have this Two of Cups, you know what I'm saying, in reverse. So I think people are seeing, it's like one thing for you to see that you don't don't belong in this group, and like you setting away. And then it's another thing for someone else to actually realize it themselves and also leave too, right? And going in this energy of, I'm alone, but I'm okay being alone. Because like, again, it's better to be alone than with this flock that I've been hanging with my whole life. You know, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, when you grow up, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but when you grow up in a certain area, everybody does the same shit all the time. And like, people don't like to permeate the cycle, but they do. Like, people that I know, like, had kids very young, like, are stuck in these jobs that they don't really like, you know, like got pregnant by accident, or, you know, like that same, I mean, I don't want to say like where I live, but it's basically just like the cycle, like again and again and again. And then you see these people's kids, and the kids are just like their parents, and then it's just like, it's never ending, and like it just keeps going and going and going, and you're like, yo, you don't, like, I remember talking to one of my friends. She's never gonna see this reading because she doesn't like do this shit, so, but it's like, I was like, yo, don't you want to move away from here? Like, don't you want to get the fuck out of here? Like, don't you feel like that we could be living somewhere else or doing something else? Like, and she's like, why would you ever want to leave here? Like, this is the best place ever. And I just looked at her and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what? Like, I was dying to leave that environment and be somewhere new and like change where I was. And she was just like so happy being complacent here. And it was just crazy to me because I was like, what the fuck? Like, people really don't see, you know what I mean? There's no problem with like having a kid, raising them by yourselves, having an absent father, making a low income, depending on the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no problem with that cycle. Like, people like are just like ingrained in it. Like, oh no, that's like, why would you want to change where you live? Why would you want to change the way things are done? And that's exactly what I feel like is not happening here. People are like looking at their environment and they're just like, no, I can do better for myself. And whoever you left behind in the past because you were like, you know what, this person might not see, but I do, I gotta get out of here. I feel like someone might be catching up, which is actually really, really beautiful. But I think it's, again, going to be very painful for this person. But at the end of the day, like, this is what needed to be done. You know what I mean? Again, I think with the Strength in reverse, it's the fact that to belong, I think, takes more energy than to not belong. Right? To belong and put on like that mask and being authentic takes more energy than actually just being your freaking self. You know what I mean? And it's for that person who's aligned, right? Like, if you're pretending to be a sheep this entire time and you're actually aligned, so you're a carnivore and you're eating grass. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like a cycle that you need to break yourself, and you're not even comfortable in that cycle. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing so much work to fit in for what reason? And that's the ultimate betrayal, right? The betrayal to your own self. And that's what someone's going through right now. So honestly, I would like pray for this person and, you know, send this person good energy. This could be you. And just know that, like, I'm praying for you. Like, I, like, love you. I want you to do the best for yourself. And you're not crazy for being here. And you're not, you know, like, whatever the sheep are freaking saying, you know what I mean? Again, let's, like, take a moment of silence and, like, applaud the sheep, because that's exactly how you realize that you're not a sheep, right? Like, I think the sheep, again, are very important, because it's like, you're not a sheep. Once it's like my friend, like, oh, why wouldn't you want to move? Like, why would you want to stay? Why wouldn't you want to stay here? Like, this is the best place ever. And when you don't see it the same way, like, things can be done better, things can be different for us, you know what I'm saying? Then you realize you're the line. And that's why we have to take a moment for the sheep. Say thank you to the sheep and then dip, you know? Do something better for yourselves. But yeah, I feel like these are the sheep. The King of Swords in reverse. These are the sheep. And this is the person waking up, right? But the sheep, again, they don't see, right? Like, they're never going to see. And again, it's like, thank you to the sheep. Thank you to the sheep for not going within. Thank you to the sheep for being being whatever it is that they needed to be, so that you could see that you were different. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I want to say, like, this reading is like, thank you to the sheep for being so freaking complacent and not realizing that there could be so much more, that things can be done differently, because that's why you realize you're the line. And then that's why, again, it hurts to realize that you were this person for a while, but it's actually a beautiful thing to, I feel like these people are gonna have a tough time, and that's why we need patience for these people, because it's gonna be like, it's hard, right, to go through this process of learn, like, especially, you don't know how long you've been here, right? You don't know how long these people have been in this sheep conditioning. So for people who are older and are learning this now, realizing what their life could have been, you know, that's a hard thing to swallow. That's a hard thing to like realize. So that's why I feel like we have to like be patient with these people, because again, it's triggering, but at the same time, it's actually a really beautiful thing to realize that you're not the sheep, right? And like that you can do things better, and that you could do things differently and create something different for your life, you know? And I feel like you guys should, if you're not really familiar with the crown chakra, I think you should look up the crown chakra. Even if you don't know what chakras are, like just look up the crown chakra and like what that mean for like integrating. What does that mean? Like, what does integration even mean? What does like higher consciousness mean? What is like the consciousness of like everyone, one, like as a whole? What does that, you know, take what you want from it and leave what you don't want, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, everything that I say on this channel is something that you have to like go with. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. Like, question everything and realize like, what is it that makes sense to you and what does not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still learning at the same time. So that's what I'm trying to say. This is the place to question everything. This is the place to do things on your own. This is the place to like look shit up and try to understand it in the best way that's for you, right? Like, again, it doesn't have to be my channel. It could be anyone's channel that helps you. That's who you should be listening to. Do you know what I'm saying? Whoever relates to you. But yeah, I'm really excited for us. I'm really excited for this person. Again, I feel like a love thing involved here. This could be a partner in the past that you had to leave behind, because again, they're just in the same shit all the time, and you're just like, you know what, I know that, like, I know who you could be, but I can't like depend on that, so I have to go. And that's what I'm getting for a lot of these people. And again, it hurts to realize that you were stuck in a cycle, but what's interesting is like, these people will always be here. The sheep will always be here. And that's why I felt triggered by the sheep, but now I feel like grateful for the sheep, because the sheep is what made me realize that I was not a sheep, I was the lion. So I think that's why the devil is in reverse, because it's like realizing, it's like breaking that bond. It's like breaking that chain, right? Anyway, I love you guys. I hope this reading helps, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.